Now, we talked about those migrants being gone from the Del Rio border, the border of that borders Texas and Mexico. But how many are staying in the U.S.? And this is where the ABC 13 Houston, their coverage had to say about it.
How do U.S. authorities decide who gets to stay and who has to go? The answer I found out today is a little bit complicated. And in fact, even those who are coming here don't know either.
I didn't know if I was going to be deported back to my country or not, so I was very, very nervous.
As of now, about 13,000 migrant people have temporary authority to stay here. More than 2,000 Haitian nationals, though, have been put on planes and deported back to Haiti. Legally, the U.S. government has to allow people who are already here in the country to apply for asylum, but we're also in a pandemic. Public health law is what allows those deportations.
Scholars have written about what's called refugee roulette or asylum roulette. And so there is some amount of subjectivity that's involved. There are also certain bars, certain prohibitions on granting asylum that would kick in to certain people. So it's very much a case by case. It's very much individual.
And those who have been able to get that temporary authority to stay here in the United States will have to meet with immigration officials within 60 days of coming here.
Do we expect to see more large groups of people coming from Haiti? We know that the whole immigration issue, it flows and it changes.
I did speak to several migrant people actually at shelters in Del Rio. A lot of this information, including exactly where to go, is just spread through social media, apps like WhatsApp. So therefore, some of these groups really start to get bigger than anybody would have ever expected. About 8,000 of those Haitian people who were trying to come into this country actually went back to Mexico. So there's no telling at this point on when any of them may try to come back.
Yo, that channel, that news channel is the ops. If you're talking ops, that news channel just now is the ops, spreading the business, talking about how WhatsApp is where we get our information and where them 8,000 Haitians went because they, left the border. They're talking about they went to Mexico. So a lot of that isn't true, and a lot of it, is some opposite. Like I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You can't trust nobody. Can't trust the media. Can't even trust the locals. But go ahead, Pascal. You have to go. So what information? How do you feel about that information?
I'm still kind of wrapping my mind around it, to be honest. I wonder why. I'm still wondering how many Haitians were actually brought in to be, processed so that they can come out. There has been talk, of course, because, I know you guys are going to be talking about the Chris Wallace conversation as well here in a little bit. He was basically asking, like, what are they doing with the people that were sent back to Haiti left here? Why were certain people sent back to Haiti? That's the thing I'm still trying to figure out and try to understand is why were there only, a certain select few that were allowed to go into America, right? And why, you know what I mean? How did they pick this thing? How did they know, like, oh, whoever's left-handed, y'all going back to Haiti. Sorry, guys. You know what I'm saying? And what was the decision maker? How were these things made? How are these decisions made? Because I don't know how this is. 2 seconds later, they're gone. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, see them there. They're under the bridge. There's thousands of people. And then almost seconds later, we see Mayorga at the podium explaining everything. And we see empty. We see the same area completely empty. What's going on here?
Looking like a whole, like they literally picked up thousands of them. And we just saw them on the news. We had people who were out there accounting for people saying, okay, they wanted to stay at the, where the border of where they were staying, the immigrants. They didn't want people to get to them. So they told them they had to come back the next day. They came back the next day, circled around that place, saying, is this the same? This is not the same place. They circled it, trying to figure out was it the same bridge because they, U.S., literally went there in the middle of the night, took them people and brought them God knows where. So many accounts that you hear through social media, because people are talking to their families. Some people are posting up the instances of them pulling up to areas where they've seen, because they had to drive around, where they've seen lines of Black immigrants being loaded onto buses. Just yesterday, I saw a video from ATL for Haiti that they posted up, where they were confronting someone who was working there. And while clearly the person was highly frustrated because they probably had a long night, they were saying that there are, the woman that was working there and that was processing them was saying, you can't see them. No, you come back tomorrow at 7 a.m. if you want to talk to any and account for any, because there are a church organizations and that are coming here. And she said, you guys, and the man was like, we're not a church organization though. She's like, well, these organizations are coming here and taking them and dropping them off at a processing center or something like that. And I get woke up in the morning at 7 a.m. away from my family, having to go and handle this and put them on buses. And he's like, but where are the buses going? Come back at 7 a.m. and we'll talk about it at 7 a.m. I saw that on video. I have to get that video so I can play it for you guys. But yeah.
Oh, I would love to see that video. Oh, don't kick me off this yet. I got time for this. Hold up. Don't kick me off this yet. I got time for this. See, this is the thing that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it, too, because I'm not kidding. I got done with the show. It was, I think it was Friday's show. Wrapped up, walked out, and I see the press briefing with Mayorkas. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name. But anyway, right.
Mayorkas?
Mayorkas. Yes, thank you, Mayorkas. So he's talking about this, and I just see it empty. Completely. I'm like, how did you process over 17,000 people? 17,000 people. How did you process that many people in less than 24 hours? How is that possible? Where you were able to decide who gets to stay and who goes? Where did this happen? How did this happen? I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I'm still.
Don't apologize. I'm right with you.
Because
I'm
2
right
seconds
with you.
ago, I'm seeing Mexicans giving out water and food to the Haitians. And I'm going, yes, you know what I mean? Showing some solidarity, showing some help, reaching out. 2 seconds later, I'm not kidding you. 2 seconds later, what we're seeing right now on the screen, empty, ghost town, tumbleweeds. How did that happen? Where are they? Where did they go, y'all? Where did they go?
So many. That's the question that we've had for weeks, but there's so many different accounts. Some Haitians are saying they were taken in a bus, taken to another area where they're detained and being processed to be deported. Others, it's like they didn't choose who's the good Haitians or the bad Haitians or who gets they just chose a few or not a few. They chose a section of them to, I believe, and here's the due process, Ben. Here's the due process right here. They chose some after putting out that press release that thousands of them, not a particular number, nothing definitive, but thousands of them have been processed or are in the works of being processed to stay here, right? They needed to have something for that. So I believe in the middle of the night, they done grabbed them, made thousands of them and go home. And then had, maybe like 2,000, 3,000 of them processed to stay so that they can account for the news that they put out. And we can now start discussing, U.S. turned a corner and allowed thousands of them to stay. But the numbers that we saw out there does not make sense on the thousands that you guys couldn't even verify that sources from the White House, verified sources, couldn't tell us who, couldn't tell us when, couldn't tell us how, right? How these people were being processed. These asylum seekers were being processed and where they were being kept. Who was accounting for them? Where are they going? What is the process going to be like for them? And now you're telling me 8,000. So the numbers are they're not making sense. Because now they're reporting that 8,000 of them went back across the border to go stay in Mexico.
Right.
The math ain't mathing, baby. The math ain't mathing.
I've been saying that so much this whole week. The math ain't mathing right, y'all. This is just not, nothing's adding up. I don't get it. I don't get it either. And the thing is like, wait, are y'all trying to, obviously they're not sifting out the drug dealers and the murderers and the rapists. It's like almost they just went everybody from the left of me is going in, and the other half, y'all gonna, how many families were torn apart? Were any families torn apart? You know,
so many questions. So the treatment, the like I said, the people who have been posting and they can't post where they're finding them, right? They're just watching them be processed, and some of them be processed to go be detained, to go be deported, and some of them are being processed to go stay with someone. The fact that this lady in the video that I let me know when you guys have it. The lady in the video said, "Can you account for anybody?" Lets me know that, you know, if people are coming there and accounting for people here in Atlanta have been opening up their homes, have been pulling up to the Texas border, y'all. This is actually happening. That's why people were still continuing to go weekly during the weekends and stuff when they were at the border. And I think that U.S. was getting word of this and stuff like that. They were going there and saying, "That's my cousin. That's my sister. That's my brother. And they were bringing them back and putting them in Airbnbs or bringing them into their own homes if they were able and capable. And I think that word was getting out. And they're like, hell no, we're not going to have all these tens of thousands of Haitians migrants just come over here, asylum seekers, just come over here and have opportunities, 60 days to get their stuff together because these people are accounting for them. There's so many. The people are saying that they're being detained in places where they're not given food. When I saw that lady unfold the drap, the blanket that she got, it was foil. She showed us what was given to her. She said, "This is what they gave me after my 2 months trek through Brazil, through Mexico to get here. Here's what they gave me to cover myself up. I was hungry."
Aluminum foil.
That's why we were going to that border. We were going to that border to feed them, to account for people, to see if they were doing okay. Because what the media was showing us was not what we needed. Was not what we needed to understand and see at the time. But all of a sudden, the press release comes out. All of a sudden, all them people are moved. If y'all really wanted to do that, because they were piling up there for weeks. If they really wanted to do that, they would have done it a long time ago.
Facts.
Now we see that they were capable of doing something.
No, I and that's the thing too. Also, I just wanted to add this too. You said earlier, and it just hit me. You said earlier that people were taken to places to stay or into a facility or whatnot. Where's the video? Where are photos? Where's the footage? Where's the proof that those people are safe wherever they took them to? You see what I'm saying? They just disappeared, and you don't have any. You're not showing us the Carfax. Where's it at?
Yes.
Where's the proof?
You said, "Where's the Carfax?" When I think of that, there are two sides to that coin. I feel like I want to know what's happening with them too. I want to know, but when I do see the random footage that's being put up, I'm like, oh, they're here, but it's an unmarked location for a reason. Because if police officers, feds, ICE find out where they are, it's like, the ones that have been taken by other folks and stuff like that, then I feel like it's going to blow cover for the people who are helping them, and who knows where there is a place where they are being detained and they're being able to walk in there and they can grab them. It's like once word gets out that this particular group of people is going to this particular detention center to take those group of people, we're gonna put a stop to it. And I think that's what was going on. They found out that there was help coming for those people at the border. Oh, I get so frustrated. I get a little emotional when I think about their trek, and for them to be treated the way they were. And then for them to, like you said, be picked up and we not know what the hell was going on with them for damn weeks, like for like a week. We was like, where the hell did they go? They were just there. And we don't trust America. We don't trust this government. We don't trust these officials. We do not. So when they disappeared, all of us, especially us Haitians, we were filled with some kind of confusion and emotion, because where the hell did you take our people?
Imagine if, this is what breaks my heart more than anything. It gets me kind of, this thing messes me up a lot. But imagine, I hate to play this thought in anybody's minds, but let me paint something really quick. Imagine those people having no clue where they're going. Imagine if they think that they're going to go somewhere like they're going to be brought in, processed so that they can live their life, find their refuge, find salvation here in America, only to find out that they're getting escorted onto a plane. They're thinking, oh, yes, we're finally going to be processed. We're finally going to be able to find our pursuit of happiness here on this earth, in this country, only to find out that they are either back in Mexico, like they say a lot of them are, or they're on a plane getting flown out back to Haiti from the place from whence they were trying to run away from. So it breaks my heart that these people would go, these Haitian people, my Haitian people, our Haitian people would go out of their way, months going through all types of terrain. God knows how they got through, how they got to Texas, and God knows what their stories are. I'm sure they're epic, only to find out that they're getting turned right back around, flown within hours. They're back on Haiti soil. It just it's sad, because in my mind I keep thinking that all these people are going, yes, yay, celebration. We're finally going to go. We're not going to be living under a damn bridge. And then next thing you know, they're being sent back to Mexico, and they're like, what? Or they're going back to Haiti. And imagine families being split apart, possibly split apart. Yes. Because somebody just said, okay, we're taking 300 people. Let's go. You're staying in America. You know what I'm saying? It just really breaks my heart, guys.